Listen, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. I want to talk about saying no to competition. And I'm going to say this again. I want to talk about saying no to competition. I don't care whatever you're doing in life, people will always try to compare you to other people. And I'm going to say this again. I don't care what you're doing in life, people will always try to compare you to other people. And I just want to say, listen, when somebody try to compare you to somebody else, all you could do is say, thanks, but no thanks. And I'm going to say this again. Thanks, but no thanks. You guys have to understand, we live here in America, a first world country. And I'm going to say this again. I live in a first world country. So what happens is a lot of people, they are small-minded. And when I mean small-minded, I'm not judging. I'm just telling you how it is. A lot of people, they want to compete with people in a proximity, but they don't want to compete with everybody. And I'm going to say this again. A lot of people, they only want to compete with people that's close in their proximity, but they don't want to compete with everybody. So what does that tell you? That's not real competition. When it's all said and done, I just want to say that being a provider is the only thing that matters. Like I said, we live in a world where if you provide for a woman, they want to call you a simp. Not realizing that if you have a wife and if you have kids and if you have a daughter, if you have a son, listen, you're supposed to take care of the mother of your child. And I'm going to say this again. If you have a son or if you have a daughter, taking care of the mother of your child, listen, that should be what life is all about. Even if you move on to find another woman, still take care of the first mother of your child. As a man, it's all about being a provider, not being a competitor. Like a lot of people, they're caught up in the idea of being a fanatic forever. Not realizing half of us play football, half of us got ran over, half of us never went D1. So when it's all said and done, half of us were really not that competitive. But what we try to do is we try to take that old feeling where we did play sports and we try to incorporate that into everything that we do in life and business. When it's all said and done, first of all, the days of corporate America, I mean, that's a personal choice. Nowadays, you could create channels, you can have your own ecosystem. If you have your own ecosystem, my question is, who are you competing with outside yourself? And I'm gonna say this again. If you have an ecosystem, something that you created, something that you started, if you have a platform, my question is, who are you competing with other than yourself in your own ecosystem? This is why on YouTube, I like to talk about unpopular topics, because I feel like when you have a channel, you got to break down your channel. When you have a platform, you got to break down your platform. You literally have your own ecosystem. You are literally the president of your own ecosystem. You are the mayor of your own ecosystem. So when it's all said and done, if you're the president in your own ecosystem, you don't have another president to compete with. You have your own ecosystem. And to everybody that creates content or want to do social media, have the mindset that I'm gonna stay in my own lane, I'm gonna be authentic, and I'm gonna just have my own ecosystem. In my own ecosystem, there's not an HR manager. In my own ecosystem, there's not managers. And that's another thing too. When it comes to content and social media, listen, you don't need a manager. And I'm gonna say this again. So many people, they want a manager, and you gotta stop and think. If you the one that's uploading the video, if it's you on the video, and if it's you talking on the video, why do you need a manager when you're doing all the work? And I'm gonna say this again. Why do you need a manager if you're doing all the work? When it's all said and done, if you have your own ecosystem, that's the only thing you need to focus on is growing your ecosystem, working within your ecosystem, and also helping people that also want to visit your ecosystem. Because like I said, the cool thing about YouTube is people could watch your channel without subscribing. So they could come into your ecosystem. And the reality of it is they could leave your ecosystem without hitting the subscribe button, without having any loyalty. So the main thing about it is, I feel like when you have a channel, all you got to do is keep creating. So when people or when traffic come into your ecosystem, all they are hearing is improvement. You getting better and better. When it's all said and done, if somebody hear you now and then somebody come back 2027, the 2027 you should be more improved than who you are now. When I tell guys, Life is really about can I, constant and never ending improvement. And I'm gonna say this again, life is all about can I, constant and never ending improvement. The more you're improving yourself, how can you focus on the man down the street? And I'm gonna say this again, the more you actually taking care of yourself and improving yourself, how can you focus down the man down the street? Listen, one thing I love about Arizona is this state is huge. When I mean this state is huge, it is huge. There's no way I can compete with people in Scottsdale. No way. There's no way I could compete with people in Paradise Valley. There's no way. This is a huge state. But the way the world works is they want you to compete with someone. People love to see people clash. And I'm going to say this again. A lot of people that don't understand the ecosystem, that don't understand that it's enough out here for all of us. You feel me? When it's all said and done, people are free to go and watch whatever they want to watch. They are free to go on different platforms, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I can't hold nobody hostage in my ecosystem. Somebody left me a comment when I was going to live. They said, Mr. Keep It Simple, they blackballing your channel. Listen, ain't nobody blackballing my channel. I live in the suburbs. When it's all said and done, listen, thank God the rent is paid. And I'm gonna say this again, thank God the rent is paid. You feel me? As long as the rent is paid, as long as I'm providing for myself and cultivating myself to one day provide for a family, when it's all said and done, and if I have a family, and if and when I have my family and I'm able to provide for my future kids and the women that have my kids, you guys have to understand, to me, that's what life is all about. As a man, I'm here to tell you guys, keep life simple. Provision is everything. It's righteous. And I'm gonna say this again, provision is everything. It's righteous. The same way God provide miracles for you, it's the same way, guess what? If your daughter needs something last minute, you provide a miracle for your daughter. When it's all said and done, as a man, being a provider is everything. And like I said, we have men that try to do things before the timing is right. This is why it's so important to understand that trying to do something before the timing is right is always going to cause you pain. So a lot of men, they try to be providers with women that they knew were not going to be around 10 years from now, but they provided, they got their feelings hurt. So now nobody wants to be providers anymore because they have trauma from the past of providing, but that's not true providing. We're talking about providing for your family. We're talking about providing for the mother of your child, making sure, even if you're not with the mother of your child, making sure the mother of your child straight, making sure your kid's straight, making sure the next mother of your child straight, making sure your next kid's straight. That's what it's all about, being a provider. You feel me? Like, we live in a world now where, and especially in the too cool hip hop culture, drill culture, if you a provider, oh, you a simp, you a sucker. You feel me? Like, something is wrong with you. You like, I mean, like, when it's all said and done, let's be serious. As a man, you feel me? Imagine having a daughter and your daughter asking for something and you actually got it. That's what it's all about. If you have a son and your son asks you for something, that's what it's all about. And if you have a beautiful wife that wants to travel the world with you, and if you eat, she eats, and the kids eat, that's what it's all about. Competition. Listen, that's for people that literally have peanut brains. And I'm gonna say this again, competition. Listen, when I first came to YouTube, I tried to help other people. You feel me? While helping myself. You feel me? Like, I was never competitive on YouTube. And I'm gonna say this again, I was never competitive on YouTube. Every year, I will say probably till this year I stopped. Shout out to NSR Talks, last client that I work with. I've been helping people for 5.5 years. Competitive people will never help you. Competitive people, they only focus on them. They only focus on their wins, what they got going on. Listen, that's the opposite of me. Like I said, that's the opposite of what I stand for. I'm not competitive at all. When it's all said and done, if I'm eating and you eating, life is blessed. Long as you don't touch my family members, long as you don't touch anybody I'm providing for, we good. And I'm gonna say this again, we good. You feel me? Long as you eating and I'm eating, we good. Listen, we don't have to like each other. That whole go along to get along, that stuff is crazy. And I'm gonna say this again, that whole go along to get along, man, that's crazy, bruh. Like, we don't have to like each other. We don't have to speak to each other. But if your family eating and my family eating, what's the problem? And I'm gonna say this again, if your family eating and my family eating, what's the problem? If I'm eating and you eating, what's the problem? If my kids eating and your kids eating, what's the problem? And that's what we really gotta stop and think. when it comes down to competition, first of all, 9 out of 10, most people, when it comes to competition, people be instigating. You feel me? And how mature is instigating? And I'm gonna say this again. 9 out of 10 when it comes to competition, people be instigating. But you gotta stop and think. Arrested development, where's the maturity in instigating? There's no maturity in instigating. Instigating is back in high school when somebody said something to somebody heard it, and then somebody in the background be like, oh, what you gonna do about it? I know you're gonna let him come and talk to you like that. Come on, that's instigating. So 9 out of 10 when it comes to competition, people just be instigating. They be like, oh, look what so-and-so doing. Let me tell you guys, I'll never forget, I told somebody that did YouTube back in the day, and they said, you ain't the only one that's doing YouTube. Did I ask, was I the only one? They just had that in their heart to tell me, oh, you ain't the only one that's doing YouTube. I know other people. Listen, most people low-key, they're instigators. Watch for the instigators. Instigators, I don't care. 9 out of 10, your managers at work, they're instigators. That's why they always want to escalate something. Oh, let's run with this false information. Let's escalate it. Because they're instigators. A lot of people are instigators. Don't think just because we graduated high school that it's still not in a lot of people. And I'm going to say this again. Just because you're not in high school, just because you're not in college, that doesn't mean that it's not inside of a lot of people. A lot of people, they're instigators. And the best way to instigate is they will see you working hard and will try to compare you to somebody else. Listen, when it's all said and done, being a provider, that's what it's all about. Providing for your family. After that, nothing else matters. And I'm going to say this again. If you're able to provide for your family, nieces, nephews, grandmother, mother, you name it, listen, after that, nothing else matters. When it's all said and done, a lot of people think they're celebrities. They never took an oath. They never went to the lodge. So my main thing is, let's be real. Social media is a beautiful tool, is a beautiful outlet for entrepreneurs, people with product. For people that want to go famous, they're going to go crazy because they want to be famous. Without a product, they don't have a product. They're just going after anything that's trending, and that's it. Me, I feel, listen, I'm about to do something for not only now, but forever. I'm going to just talk about original topics, and I'm going to keep doubling down on things that I want to talk about, and not celebrities, not things that are trending, and we're moving forward. Everything in the past is a closed chapter. And when it comes to competition, listen, if I was worried about competition, I would have never done that, because when you go with unpopular topics and original topics, that's not going to set the algorithm off. But if you talk about a female rapper getting pregnant, that right there is going to set the algorithm off. If you talk about current events, current topics, that's going to set the algorithm off. But you know what? What's crazy? I realize most people are not fit. Most people are not in shape. Most people are not buff. So guess what? I'm able to do what most people can't do. And I want to talk about things to empower. I keep telling you guys, the strong empower, the weak they devour. And the best way to devour people is to talk about things that don't have value. You're wasting people's time. You feel me? So I like to talk about things that have value, and I like to empower people. And I just want to say, if somebody try to come with and push competition on you, because it has to be pushed. If nothing is hype, competition doesn't need anything. So if somebody want to push competition on you, when it's all said and done, say thanks, but no thanks, let it breathe.